order for me to um, give out good products, I had to taste those things. And I couldn't taste anything that I was making without feeling really sick. So I eventually had to walk out on that skinny branch and put myself out there and rebrand and change around. And believe it or not, people, the majority of my customers are not vegans. The flavors, they think nothing has changed. They think it's still, just as good as what I was doing before, if not better. So they're they really didn't care, just as long as the taste was still there, just as long as it was still good, they're going to still buy it and eat it. So we've been doing pretty well just by me, taking the chance to bet on, putting my journey into my work. So
Gently Bern, how are you today?
hey, how are you doing?
I am extremely well. I'm extremely excited. Thank you so very much for being here. So, I have been looking into some of the things that you've been doing. I've been looking at your Instagram, your Facebook page, your social medias, and finding all those stuff out. And I love it because it's interesting to me because when most people hear about the word vegan or that type of thing, we automatically kind of get that face, right? Like, no way, I can't eat it. It's healthy. But when we spoke the other
Yeah.
day, you were like, I've got some different ways to make it different for everyone to enjoy it. And I can't wait to hear about that. But I want you to take a few
Yeah.
moments to introduce yourself, though. I want you to let the listeners and the viewers out there know exactly who you are, what you're working towards, and, just a little bit about you.
Okay. Well, hi everyone out there. My name is Gently, and I am a vegan chef. I have been vegan for almost 6 years in October, and my business is centered around providing plant based and vegan and also gluten free desserts and cuisines. Most of my cuisine is inspired by soul food, Southern Geechee Gullah, and my mom's side, West Indies, Trinidadian, so all the curry and coconut flavors.
Oh my goodness. I'm ready for that because when you started saying that Trini style, I was like, wait a second. No, we're throwing a little different spice up into that. I know that
Yes,
Caribbean
yes.
food. And we have a cruise coming up here in August, no, October,
Mm-hmm.
in which we're going to the Bahamas. My wife's never been there. So that's going to be interesting. And a little side note as well is when we came back to South Carolina to visit, she got to experience some of the food here, right? And because she's from the West Coast, and it's a whole different
Mm-hmm.
ball game. And I remember there was a moment when she like bit into some food because we were in Charleston at the time, and she's like, "We're moving here." It's like, man, that food is powerful, right? So,
That food make you want to move.
right? And we eventually did. So let me ask you this because now we've got people who are listening to this and they're saying to themselves, they probably heard vegetarian and vegan. As I'm learning, there's a small difference, or do you consider it a big difference or a difference at all? What is to you the difference in that, if there is? Can you explain that to our listeners?
Yeah, there is a significant difference between being vegetarian and vegan. Vegetarians still eat dairy products, whereas vegans, they don't eat anything derived from an animal. So vegetarians still get to enjoy cheese. Where
Okay.
many of us vegans have struggled with
Mm,
letting cheese go. Yeah, vegetarians, they still, enjoy the dairy
yeah.
side.
I
So
can see that, and
that's the big difference.
that's part of the thing that would make me lean a little bit more because I'm like, does it have cheese on it? Yes, but I can definitely understand it and see that. So, and
Hmm.
you said 6 years is yours. Was there something that kind of guided you down that path to change, that you're comfortable or was sharing or want to share? And that reason why I asked that because I had someone on recently who was talking about juicing, right? And they juice, but they did it because they had a health issue, and then juicing
Right.
kind of changed their world, right? Or was it just you were like, you know what, I just want to eat healthier or different? What kind of guided you down that path?
Hmm. So I tell people this all the time. I did not choose veganism. It chose me. My body just over time started rejecting certain meats, and I had done away with like pork for almost 10 years now, and then everything else started following that. And I really, to be honest, I didn't know much about being a vegetarian, and definitely didn't know anything about veganism, but I jumped right into veganism, thinking that this is this is going to be the best option for me because everything else is making me sick. There was even where dairy, I couldn't have dairy for, a while. So I just jumped head first, feet first into veganism. And I have been growing and learning about it ever since 2017. Yeah, 2017, 2018.
Yeah. I think that is something that a lot of people who are listening and watching this can resonate with, because I do find myself at points, uh, as I'm getting older, saying to myself like, "Man, I can't eat that as much." Or like, I'll go someplace and I'll say to the missus, like, "Oh no, that food looks too greasy" or something, and my body's telling me something. I just don't know how to listen. So I might need to learn a little bit more of these kind of things. But that happens, as we get older and stuff like that. And for anyone
Yeah.
who's listening, let me tell you this and start us off saying, I myself am not a physician, doctor, or anything like that. So
Oh,
if you
yeah.
hear something here, I'm not giving you any medical advice or anything, but
No,
do
we're
your due
not.
diligence. Go speak to your physician, your doctor. Just because I said greasy food makes my stomach upset, and you like me too, I might have that. No, it could be something different, right? Do your due diligence
Right.
and check on
Right.
yourself. So, but that's interesting. I love hearing that and you listened to what was going on in your world, in your life, and then you said, well, let me research it and learn it. But then you at some point said, let me kind of take this into a business, or at least kind of guide down like that. What happened there? Because there's some person out there who's listening, and they're listening to your story and they're kind of like, wow, I could probably do something similar or something like that. Share
Hmm.
with them how you got started on that journey.
Well, I had this business, my baking business, for a while, and as I was growing into the vegan world, I could not continue because I really did. I tried to hold on to the niche I was already in, with my baked goods because everyone was so familiar with it. So to change my business around was very scary. I didn't think that anyone would be on board with having vegan desserts, yet alone food, um, just because I was on this journey. But in order for me to um, give out good products, I had to taste those things. And I couldn't taste anything that I was making without feeling really sick. So I eventually had to walk out on that skinny branch and put myself out there and rebrand and change around. And believe it or not, people, the majority of my customers are not vegans. The flavors, they think nothing has changed. They think it's still, just as good as what I was doing before, if not better. So they're they really didn't care, just as long as the taste was still there, just as long as it was still good, they're going to still buy it and eat it. So we've been doing pretty well just by me, taking the chance to bet on, putting my journey into my work. So it's helped.
I I love that, and because now when you said that, the first thing that popped in my mind was like, okay, I gotta let my wife know so we can go try some of this, because that is one of the things, and I know as people we kind of shut ourselves off to new opportunities because of past perceived learnings, right? We grew up,
Mm,
or we heard
yeah,
someone else say vegan food isn't good, so we don't try it just because we heard that, or we tried one and it didn't, our palates didn't take to it, so we never try anything else. I'm open to trying because I need to try new things for my health.
yeah,
And when you're saying most customers aren't even vegan, I'm like, okay, listen, I gotta hop on this boat and I gotta definitely try some of that, because it's always good to try something different, man. And I love that you also did something that I tell my listeners and everyone else, when you said, hey, sometimes I have to pivot. You restructured the brand, you did this, little
hmm,
fear, but sometimes that could be a great thing because we're heading in one direction and we're so
yeah,
headstrong and like, no, I'm not giving up on this dream. I didn't say give up, I just said pivot, just turn it around a little bit, stuff like that. So
yeah,
now,
yeah.
I want to talk to you really quick also about this competition, because I'm excited about this. I was
Um,
reading and I'm learning that you're one of the, or not one of, you're the first female, black female. Can you tell it? Because I'm gonna mess it up. What is it, and what are you doing in that?
Sure. So, I'm in Myrtle Beach. Well, really, I'm in Georgetown County, and I am the first Black female owned vegan business along the Grand Strand. So, along um, Horry County and Georgetown County, I'm the first to have solely vegan food and dessert right now. So, this contest that I'm in, Carla Hall, is giving $25,000 away to the favorite chef. And voting for that starts June 12th. So, Monday coming, the voting for that will start. And I'm looking to be nominated in by my peers to qualify for the next phase of that, which would be cooking. And Carla gets to choose who's her favorite chef. So I'm
Yes.
excited about that.
Yes, yes, yes. So I was looking at the page here, and as what you were trying to tell people about, voting begins June the
Mhm.
12th at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So you got 9 days, 22 hours, 48 minutes, 27, 26, 25 seconds to
25.
get on it. You can go to favechef.com, ladies and gentlemen, favechef.com. And then you can look up Gently Russell, Bernadette Gently Russell, to find her page. Make sure you go and vote for her there as well. But I want to find out from you, how did you get involved into this contest, right? Was it uh, competition? You just kind of said, hey, let me jump in. Um, or were you kind of held back from that?
It's like both. I was on Facebook, and I had seen it before I applied. I'd seen it maybe, I'm gonna say maybe 6 times, right? And I'm just like, I'm not gonna enter that. That's like a long shot. That's a long shot for me to even get picked, right? That's what I'm thinking. Then one night, I just looked at it and I was like, I'm gonna do it. Because I'm either going to get chosen or I'm not. But I'm not going to know if I don't do it. So I signed up and it said, thank you for registering and we'll let you know if you've been selected. Right. So I'm like, okay. And I did it and I didn't think about it after that. I thought nothing of it. Then I saw an email come through and even then I'm looking at it like, well, I don't, maybe they're just, sending back if, you made it in or if you didn't. I'm not really thinking much of it. So I click on it and it said that I've been chosen. And I was like, wait, what? I was chosen? Filled out the questionnaire for the next step. And here we are in the favorite chef
Yes.
competition.
Those are the moments, right? And it's we always tell people sometimes we can be our own barriers, right? They're not going to do. I also do understand when people say, "Well, I'm just afraid of rejection," right? And I get that, but sometimes I think I tell my son, right? It's okay to be afraid and to have fear, but don't let it handicap you. Don't let it stop you. Still keep going. And I'm so glad that you did, because now you're in that process. And even if it has said no, for example, right? Yes, that would have been maybe a
Mm-hmm.
little disappointing, whatever. But it would have been like, I overcame one fear. I overcame one process of not even wanting to
Right.
apply. Right. So now the next time you see an opportunity, don't say, well, you know what? They told me no last time. For anyone listening out there, keep pushing. And man, this is so exciting and I absolutely love it. So I'm going to bring up your page here because I see some delectable things on here. Ladies and gentlemen, who are listening, make sure you go look at the YouTube page so you can see some of these delectable treats that we're doing on her Instagram, which is called Follow the Crumb Trail. Just like it sounds, follow the Crumb, CURM Trail, TRAIL. But let's take a look at it, and I'm going to scroll through, and I want you to tell some of the listeners and the viewers what they're seeing and kind of what you're describing. So here we go. Let's take a look
Okay.
at this. So what do we have here as I'm looking? Your new semi health that does not look healthy. It does not. It does not look vegan. Tell me about this.
Okay. Well, those are some of our cupcakes that we have. That is the strawberry crunch
Oh,
cupcakes, Oreo cupcakes. Oreo is
yes.
vegan, and when I found that out, I was very happy.
What?
Um,
What?
funfetti cupcake. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, Oreos are vegan. We have
Man.
the funfetti cupcake, and the
All right.
other one, I believe that's
Yeah.
banana pudding cupcake. We
Banana
got
pudding. See,
banana
now you
pudding
just spoke my
cupcakes.
word. Banana pudding. And I saw a couple other things where I saw crumb and talk to me. I was like, that's a great play on words. I love that crumb and
Yeah,
talk to me, kind of going along that same thing. So, wait, what is the okay? So ladies and gentlemen, I just clicked on something that looked like macaroni and cheese. Is that what that is?
that is the that is the vegan macaroni and cheese, and I make my own cheese sauce.
Listen,
I
see,
make my
look,
own
we're
cheese
gonna have to
sauce.
talk then because I'm a macaroni connoisseur. I'm telling you right up front, we're gonna have to talk. Ladies and gentlemen, if you get a chance, make sure you go and check out the Instagram at Follow the Crumb Trail. And then can you tell the listeners where else can they reach out and find you at as well on social media, or how can they get in touch with you if they're interested in learning more about your cooking, more about the competition to assist you? Anything, how can they get in touch with you?
Right now, everyone gets in touch with me through Facebook or um, Instagram or email. And all of those are pretty much the same. Um, my email address is crumbs, CRUMMZ, bb84 at gmail.com. And then you have Crumbs Brunch and Bake LLC on Facebook, and follow the Crumb Trail on Instagram.
Yes, make sure you check that out, ladies and gentlemen, because one thing that we always want to do is continue working to support the ones out there that's working and striving to bring positive influences to our communities. And I also look at almost everything that I see like this in a business aspect, right? Because now we always talk about um, giving generational wealth and growing. Well, wealth doesn't always directly reflect finances, right? But this could be a wealth of knowledge passed down to a young person out there that says, you know what, I love baking. I never thought I could
Yep.
make a business out of a vegan portion of it. And now you've got a person say, girl, guy, come look, let me teach you, right? So I love that.
Yeah.
And I want to continue pressing on to that. So make sure, ladies and gentlemen, once again, that you go to favechef.com. Let me pull that up one more time and you can tell them a little bit more about voting for you once again.
Yeah, so if you go to favoritechef.com, and I don't know how they have it listed, but if you go to any of my social media platforms, I already shared the link in the post. So if you just go to click on the link, it'll bring you right to my profile. But I'm not sure if you have to type in my name if you go on to the site itself. But June 12th on Monday, that's when the voting begins. And share with all your friends and family. I know you guys, you probably don't know me out there, but you can get to know me. And I'm definitely doing this one not only for myself, but for my community because it's needed.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And I tell um, all of my listeners and everyone who knows me, I am a very direct and straightforward person. Whenever someone tells me in their circle, in their world, they can't support me, then I say, you know what, you're not a part of my world. Because there's no way that someone can tell. I don't care. So let me be, for my listeners who know me, let me be a little bit more different and direct than what Gently was just saying. She was saying it in her way to still keep you to be a part of that world, in my opinion. And my direct, go vote. I don't care if you don't know her. Go support. This is a community black strive minority business that is saying, hey, look, all I'm asking you to do is click on a link and press a button to vote for me. You don't always have to spend money to directly support a business, to support someone, right? If it aligns
Very
with
true.
what your goals are, then yes, come and support. If it doesn't, I understand that. Maybe you don't believe in something or whatever. But if how much does it take for you just to go to a page and say, you know what, I love this, to see this, person win the competition. Who knows what it could do? It could skyrocket them to be on Master Chef or whatever else, or take that money to open up their own storefront location or a food truck or something, right? We've got to come together and start supporting each other, get rid of the crabs in the bucket mentality. I don't care. Go to her Instagram, her Facebook, click on that link, like she said, go down that rabbit hole, press the button that says, yes, I'm going to vote for her starting on June the 12th. You got a lot of time. This episode will air a couple of times before that just to remind you as well. Okay. Any final words from you? Any thoughts you want to share to the people out there? Let the people know.
I do have a festival, 2-day festival coming up July 1st and 2nd. It's called Crumb and Talk to Me Festival. And it's going to be on a historical black owned farm. It's the only black, it's been around for so many years. And it's the only one in the region. And we're the one of the my fellow comrades is helping me to host this on their farm, and it's going to be a neo soul event. Uh, Lots of vendors, some vegan food for you to try if you're interested in trying. There are going to be some tasting that you can have, live painters, fire dancers. It's going to be all that and then some. And you can find that on Eventbrite. You can type it in and it'll take you to that event for you to purchase your tickets. So that's the
And
one
for
thing that I
any
have
of the
going.
people listening, the links I will make sure that they're in the show notes for the Eventbrite and for everything else. So that way, as well, you can just go to the show notes here on the episode, click that, get your tickets. Anyone who's looking to come down, I don't care if you're local to the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area, fly in. I don't care if you're an investor, if you're anyone and you were interested in learning this, come down, check this out. She just said the only or one of the only black farm
Yeah.
owned areas here. Like, how crazy is that? I'm like so enthralled with all of this information, and I'm like, I'm going because you said fire dancers, so I'm going. I need to see these
Yeah.
fire dancers get on it. So, but yes, thank you so very much for coming and be a part of this podcast and letting the world and everyone
Thank
else know about
you.
this. Hang with me for 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and get some of these sponsors paid, and then I'm coming right back so I can
Okay.
finish everything up with you. Okay. I will be right back
Okay.
with you. Thank you so much. Yes,
Thank you.
ladies. Yeah, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming to another episode of J1Q. Again, that podcast that is dedicated strictly to bringing you information to help you scale, learn more, and grow more in whatever endeavors that you're working to do. Thank you so very much. This episode is being brought to you by Hustle 1977. For those who grind, you deserve to relax. Why not relax with a glass of smooth tasting Hustle brand whiskey? Thank you all so very much. And as I continue saying to each and every one of you, to make sure while you're here, keep living while you are alive.